I can't seem to focus.
It's me, Glorio.
Hey unicorns, it's your girl, Glory. I just can't seem to pay attention for long. It's been sort of a lifelong battle with me trying to pay attention to a lot of things, and school and work and even making this video. And I'm here to share my battle scars with you. I'm the car today because I'm about to drive you crazy. That was a good one. You guys can't just take a joke. As far as I can remember, I've had issues with a lot of aspects in my life, like my academics, my social life, my spiritual life, my relationships, my friendships. I won't technically say that I had issues, like really negative issues. I'll just say I had quite a lot of trouble with keeping up with people and things, and even hobbies. I mean, I was so interested in art at this point in time in my life. Like, since I was a baby, I loved art, and it just got to a point in time where probably there are things that just tick me off at different points in time. Like, so if anything can just give me the slightest bit of discouragement, I'm just going to be like, I cannot do this anymore. And the older I grew, the more complicated things became for me, because for a long time I didn't even know I was diagnosed with this thing they call ADHD. It's called Attention Deficit Disorder, and it's pretty common. Wait a second, let me define it. Let me use the phone. Let me not just bring this thing from my head. According to this website, www.nhs.uk, I think that's National Health Service.uk, it says, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder is a condition that affects people's behavior. People with ADHD can seem restless, may have trouble concentrating, and may act on impulse. Symptoms of ADHD tend to be noticed at an early age and may become more noticeable when a child's circumstances change, such as when they start school. I think I was probably 9 when I was diagnosed, 9 or 10. My mom had to take me to a child psychologist because I was really flunking in school and I just wouldn't pay attention. Teachers kept saying the same thing, that I wouldn't sit still for classes, I wouldn't do assignments, I wouldn't do classwork. I just refused. I refused to be a student. According to this as well, the exact cause of ADHD is still unknown, but the condition has been shown to run in families. I guess I was the one that picked the baton. This is a one-man marathon because I haven't heard or seen anyone in my family who has been diagnosed with the ADHD or personally seen any traits like that. Well, there are factors which could potentially have a role in having ADHD, and they are being born prematurely, having a low birth weight, different things. And interesting facts, ADHD has nothing to do with your IQ or your intellectual abilities. Albert Einstein had ADHD. Could you believe that? Only difference is that I really hate maths and I'm very bad with remembering numbers and dates, and I was bad at history and government. Like, I really dislike those two subjects, mainly because you have to remember dates. Oh, this person died in 1962, and I'm like, what do we need this for? Like, who cares when this nigga died? The fuck? If my husband was no matter, because our children cannot come and meet me for mathematics. You're gonna bang. You're gonna fail it. If you come and meet me for maths, that's the end. Sorry, oh. Some of the symptoms are short attention span, being easily distracted, making careless mistakes, appearing forgetful or losing things. Hey! I lost things in school, especially in primary school. The trouble I entered, I was flogged like a goat. Being unable to stick to tasks that are tedious or time consuming. Guys, to be honest, even starting a YouTube channel and to record and to send has proven to be such a stressful task, because for me to actually say, let me sit down and make a video and edit it and post it, it takes a lot. I think it takes more for me to go through this process than a person who doesn't have ADHD. And honestly, I really hate blaming my own faults on ADHD. I don't want to have a label attached to me that, oh, I have ADHD, that's why I'm like this, or that's why I'm fumbling, or that's why I'm making a mistake. Then we have hyperactivity and impulsiveness, being unable to sit still, especially in calm or quiet surroundings. My mom has pointed something out in when I make videos, that I tend to touch my face a lot, and I tend to move my hands around a lot, and I tend to be quite restless in my videos instead of just sitting down to make the video. But I feel like sometimes when it comes to video creation, you can't just sit down and be still. My energy has to show. It has to show. Just imagine me. Hi unicorns, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The fuck? Who is that? Who was that? We have constantly fidgeting, being unable to concentrate on tasks, excessive physical movement, excessive talking. I don't even talk that much. It was when I was younger I used to talk a lot. They used to call me chatterbox. They'd be like, be a lawyer when you grow up. Or they'll say, hope you're going to do journalism. You are going to be so blessed to actually find someone that is going to be interested in you and going to be understanding, and you as well. Like, once I knew I had ADHD, I kept making the conscious effort to try and be a good person to those around me. ADHD is like this umbrella, and under this umbrella you have other conditions. Conditions alongside ADHD include anxiety disorder, depression, sleep problems. There are other conditions which I don't have, and this includes autism, epilepsy, Tourette's syndrome, and learning difficulties such as dyslexia. And I don't have those. I just had the other symptoms attached to having ADHD. It's pretty difficult to know if a person has ADHD because most people just assume, oh, you're just lazy or irresponsible. There's not much awareness, especially in Africa. It's not a disease that can be contracted. It's not something that warrants stigmatization. There's some medication for it, and it's advisable that if you see anyone with symptoms like related to ADHD, you see a psychologist, whether it's a child psychologist or a normal psychologist. Don't judge straight off the bat, because that's a problem many people who have ADHD face. When you see people having a depressive episode, or when you see someone and you be like, oh, why do they look this way, or why have they turned to something totally different, it may not be their fault. It could just be the ADHD really acting up with them, and they don't know how to deal with it. Like, personally, if I never saw a child psychologist, I wouldn't have known I had ADHD then. As a kid, I carried a lot of zeros home, and I'm not talking about money. I was always carrying last in class, and the teachers kept saying the same thing. Oh, she's so brilliant, but there were always buts. And I'm like, if I'm so brilliant, then why am I failing in class? Like, explain. Like, how you keep saying I'm a smart kid but my grades are this dumb. I didn't understand what they meant. I just felt like a total dunce. And even as I have grown now, for a long while, I even forgot I was diagnosed with ADHD, because it was so much at the back of my mind that it wasn't even a thing again to me. Because it was as if nobody around me even like took it seriously. Like, direct family, no one even knew except my mom. And my dad just waved it off as, oh, okay, yeah, she has ADHD, okay, what's that? Like, he didn't even understand what it was. And sometimes explaining things like that to some African parents to just be futile. You're just like, so I trying to say my child is disease, they lie, just should be okay. And most times they don't even treat it with seriousness, and it ends up being swept under the carpet, which is very wrong. If you nip something like that at the bud, you can really help the child in the future. There are times I'll break down in tears when I'm all alone, and I'll be like, but other people are normal, other people are doing this thing, why can't you just? And it really affected me in so many areas of my life. I've made a couple of friends right now who are very supportive and understanding, and I really appreciate God every day for them in my life. Scribes, you all are the best. I don't have the mental capacity to loiter about. and to gallivant around something that is not actually solid or stable. Like, I need for someone who tends to have this epileptic stability, I need someone who is stable, or a situation that is stable, a friendship that is stable, a relationship that is stable. I need stability in my life. Forget if it's going to be a merry-go-round. I don't want this video to be long because I'm just giving you a brief talk about ADHD and just a little bit about how it has affected my life. Just a little awareness. Bye guys, and see you in my next video. Ciao.